Daniels at the Boxers Trainers channel, and welcome back to the channel. Yesterday, I did a snip of a video in regards to the upcoming, what I consider, quote unquote, as the mega fight of the year of 2026, that is, right? The first mega fight of 2026. And lo and behold, this actually wasn't the first video I did in regards to these particular boxers, right? These so-called great boxers. And actually, the first video that I did in the name of promotion, I am trying to help promote these fights the best I can, right? In order to be associated with the art of boxing, right? That is my job, right? That is what I do. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. Again, I did two videos, a couple of thumbnails associated with the videos, right? To bring about a definitive explanation as to whether these fighters, let me explain the fighters. The fighters, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, are going at it January 31st, 2026, New York, the Barclays Center, right? Now, this is being dubbed as a mega fight, a super fight, if you will, right? And this is what I was relying on in pursuing, promoting this particular event. Again, I have did two videos in regards to this particular fight because I know that these cats, Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, are phenomenal boxers. Can't take anything. Both of them have excellent records. Shakur is a 2-division world champion. Shakur is a 3-division world champion. Teofimo Lopez is a 2. Plus, Teofimo Lopez has a unified background in the lightweight division, right? Now, a lot of people say that it was undisputed, but actually, that is untrue. It was Teofimo Lopez has never been undisputed. The only reason why he wasn't undisputed because of Devin Haney's reign on the WBC lightweight championship of the world, right? When Teofimo Lopez was undefeated and the unified champion of the world in the lightweight division, Devin Haney was also the WBC lightweight champion of the world. In those 4 different weight classes, right, it's impossible to be undisputed without the 4 sanctioned body belts, right? Teofimo Lopez, again, only had 3 sanctioned body belts. Devin Haney had 1. So let's be clear about that, right? People continuously make light of the fact that Devin Haney was the WBC champion while Teofimo held the other 3 unifying belts associated with being undisputed. Are we clear? Now, let's move on to this so-called, I have to say so-called because for me, as a pundit, as one of the best trainers in the world, right, I'm finding irrelevant traction when it comes to this particular fight. Now, I want to know if that's what you guys feel as far as the fan base is concerned. I can't believe that this fight isn't getting any traction. Now, I know that they're pouring the promotional aspect of the fight. They're pouring a elite amount of money into this promotion, right? I mean, a lot of money in this promotion. So how can this fight not be considered as being properly promoted? Can you help me with that? Give me a legitimate explanation why this fight isn't getting any traction when the promotional side of the fight is putting immense amount of money into this fight, promoting this fight. Now, you tell me, why is this fight not getting any traction? Is it me? Is that a possibility that it could be me? Maybe. Let's talk about that also. If it is me, I want to know because I can find something better to do than stand up here and make irrelevant, um, unsubstantiated claims about boxers, right? I don't want to do that. If I believe that a boxer has something coming, I'm going to promote that, right? And I believe Teofimo Lopez is an excellent boxer, a fantastic um, pupil when it comes to being relevant in the sport of boxing. Teofimo Lopez is one of the best boxers in the world, right? Shakur Stevenson is one of the tacticians in the game. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson have built their reputation on being tacticians. You know what I mean? So, and here's the deal. Both of them put in immense work in the gym, right? Now, let me explain that when I say immense work, right? What I mean by that is they go in the gym and they perfect their craft, right? They will do whatever's necessary to get greater, to get better every time they go to the gym to work out. Working out makes you either a damn good boxer or a bum, right? You can be a bum if you go in the gym and just look, right? And pick up a rope, beat the heavy bag, beat the speed bag, do the pass, right? But if you're not putting your heart into it, like I believe Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson puts their heart into their craft, right? So here's the deal. Why am I not getting any traction? Can you help me out with that, right? Like I said, I can find something more interesting to do, right, than sit up before y'all and make frivolous accusations about people in the sport of boxing. I don't think that I do that, right? Now, I do get a little frustrated uh, during these programs, right? Because I believe as long as I've been in the game, right, I should be up there. But then again, let me say this in all fairness, right? I don't do everything that's necessary to be great in the realm of podcasting, boxing podcasting. And I hold myself responsible for that. But as far as having the wisdom and the knowledge necessary to solicit a fan base, absolutely. There isn't a trainer in the business that I think knows as much as me about boxing. Contrary to the fact that I have no one in my stable at this juncture, I'm not tripping on that. Allah is the greatest. Allah is God. Allah will be the purveyor of when I'm put in a position where I can do my thing in training, right? I have confidence in that. I have confidence in the Creator. So that will happen. But here's the deal. We're not talking about me. We're talking about Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Excellent, excellent craftsmen in the sport of boxing. What is the hell going on, right? Am I missing something? Area code 870-571-3995. If you got something to tell me about what I might be doing wrong, come on, call me. Let me know. Let's have that debate. Here's the deal. I want to give a shout out to one of my old friends who I just found, or who I just located, right? Nope. He texted me last night. Hold up. G Money. G Money. We'll call him G Money. I don't know if he wants his name out there like that. But the public knows him as G Money, right? And he has been participating in the podcast, right? Actually, I think that he just found out that I was being about the business of boxing, right? But actually, that's actually untrue because I was looking back through my comments, and lo and behold, his name was in the comment. Right? I'm like, G Money? Yeah, appreciate you, brother. You know what I'm saying? Keep all supporting the channel, right? Because I gotta grow to the point where y'all gonna recognize that I'm one of the greatest trainers that ever came out of the gym. You know what I mean? So look, hang in there with me, G Money. I love you, brother. You know what I'm saying? But right now, We're talking about Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Look here. Do any of you guys out there like these boxers? Those two particularly. Those two particularly. Do you like those boxers? I need to know. I need to know. Today, that's what this podcast is about, right? Today, I want to know from you. What do you think about Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson? I know there's a lot of negativity associated with both boxers, actually, but more so for Teofimo Lopez. It was a time in Teofimo Lopez's career that he thought that he possibly had lost it. You know what I'm saying? How do you think, once you've been to the top, look, here's the deal. If you beat your way to the top, you know that you're supposed to be there. You know that you're good enough to be considered as one of the great, right? So here's something I don't understand. Shakur Stevenson doesn't have a lot of baggage associated with him, as is the case with Teofimo Lopez. Not only Teofimo Lopez questioned his ability, right? There was a lot of negativity associated with Teofimo Lopez and how he spoke on humanity, right? He had a tendency to say negative things about the black race. You know what I mean? It was like, how could he possibly say that when he and his, what is it? He's not Filipino, and he's no Filipino. Heck no, he's not Mexican, Puerto Rican, right? Puerto Ricans are I mean, they're black. I mean, and I'm not trying to make issue about this, right? The fact of the matter is, when you race baiters or you race haters, get to talking about I'm better than you for whatever reason, right? How is that possible? God created us all the same damn way. All of us do the same thing, have the same functions, right? The only distinction is the pigmentation of the skin. The only distinction. Here's another thing that I think that people get confused by when they get to talking about race and hate and all that stuff, right? Your educational background plays a major role in how people perceive you in the world, right? They perceive the higher echelon of education, right, to be the cream of the crop. Contrary to the fact that a person might not be able to spell B, right? But if you are wealthy, could have been handed down from generations before you, right? There is a multitude of explanations for why you could have had money but didn't get any education, right? But at the end of the day, it's about education. If you have an adequate education, right, can't nobody tell you nothing. Look, let me say it like this. I'm self-educated. I am self-educated. There was a time in my life that I couldn't spell B, right? But I took it upon myself. Now, this is all associated, until we won't get off the track, with Teofimo Lopez and his negative behavior toward race, right? Now, there was a time when I couldn't spell B, right? I used to get so damn frustrated with watching the TV and listening to these experts talk. I mean, they would be talking way over my head. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the hell does that mean? So for 2 years, tell me that I don't have a college education, right? For 2 years, I got Webster, and I critiqued Webster every damn day, right? To the point was, after about 2 years, I laid back on that bed. It was the McLaughlin hour, right, where they would have these big debates about political things that were going on all over the universe, right? And at the end of the day, after those 2 years passed, I got on my bed and I cocked my leg up and crossed my arms, and I listened to this hour debate after the 2 years. And lo and behold, there wasn't a damn thing that McLaughlin and those guests that was on the show said that I couldn't interpret and actually elaborate on. So let's be perfectly clear about the aspects of race, education, and the things that we create these false illusions about race, as is the case with the subject matter Teofimo Lopez, right? I don't know if Teofimo Lopez is educated, but he does have $1 or two. So that puts him in a certain class. But here's the deal. When you put yourself above humanity, right, for personal reasons, for reasons of hate, or whatever the case may be, right, people, and I think they should look at you awkwardly. Awkwardly. You know what I mean? So, maybe this is why this fight's not getting traction as far as I'm saying. I don't know. But the purpose of this video was to try to come to terms with whether this show, this fight is getting any traction. And I don't know. We'll see after I close up this video today, right? I'll know by the numbers. I don't know whether this boxing event is on fire or if it's not, right? I'll know after we close the day. But just for the sake of curiosity, I hope that fight does well because I like both boxers, contrary to the fact that I said, as I said before, Teofimo Lopez has said some incriminating things that have a tarnishing impact. The word was tarnishing impact on his career. Okay, but now, likewise, as far as Shakur Stevenson is concerned, I don't know. I can't really say anything about about Shakur Stevenson. It was a time that I just didn't like Teofimo Lopez because I thought at the time that he would say anything, right, out of his mouth, right? It was like, damn, that don't sound good. You know what I mean? And again, people are judged by what comes out of their mouth, whether it's intellectually inspired or dumb. They're judged by what comes out of their mouth, as is everybody in the world. We judge by what comes out of our mouth, right? So as an older individual, it's a lot of things that you never hear me, not a word you never hear me use, and one is the N-word. Never use that. Never use the N-word. To me, it is an offensive word created by an offensive individual. Need I say more on that issue? Right, but here's the deal. I'm going to close out by saying, hit that subscription button. Don't cost you a penny. It don't cost you nothing. That is helping me out. That is helping the program out. And I want to say this, in all fairness, to the chat. I have to do better. And I am not the type that does excuses, explanations. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that, right? So at the end of the day, I have to do better with my chat. Now, I did do a makeover of my background, and I think I did an excellent job on the background. A lot of this stuff was handed down by my 94-year-old recently passed auntie. Loved her to death, beautiful individual. But I have to do better, people. I have to do better. Because I don't believe in failure. How's about that for a chapter? We don't want to do failure. You don't, and by the way, you shouldn't want to do failure. That being said, man, hit that subscription button. Hit the dang subscription button. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to impair you, right? Hit that subscription button. Hit that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. And just please let me know if Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson is a worthy fight. That being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Later.